Hello and welcome to Road America, home of iRacing's GT3 challenge this week. Today we are going to be doing a fast lap around the track, the purpose of which is to walk and talk you through the circuit and to give you a solid understanding of every aspect of the track. The goal with these videos are not to show you the fastest possible lap, but rather a difficult but obtainable lap that will allow you, with a lot of practice, the opportunity to turn it into a perfect lap. So without further ado, let's hit the track. Alright, so just before we do get into the actual lap here, I just want to point out on the left-hand side the telemetry that you can utilize to assist you in learning how to make your lap as successful as possible. On the screen, we have the position of my wheel, we have the clutch, gas, and brake pedal. I do not use the clutch, I use the pedal shifters on the wheel, so just brake and gas will be displayed there. And also pay attention to speed, the other numbers that are indicated there are not important. So let's go ahead and just get directly into the lap here. So we are just going to be traveling down Road America's long straightaway. As you can see, we are going to be keeping to the left-hand side as much as possible without getting into the grass, getting set up for turn 1 here. Now, for turn 1 specifically, we're going to be wanting to brake somewhere between the first set of cones and the second set of cones, so furthest away and closest to us. Now, we're going to be trying to brake as close as possible to the second set of cones versus the first set of cones. In this lap myself, I actually decided to brake a little bit conservatively, as I did around this entire lap. So there's a lot of room for improvement in the actual braking zones themselves. You'll see I get on the gas about there. That is very quick to actually get on the gas or on the brake. You can actually hold out and get on the brake a little bit closer to the actual second set, something a little bit more like you should be under braking now. So you should have hit the brakes a little bit closer to that second set. But what we're going to be doing here for turn 1 is we're going to be taking our car and moving it from the left-hand side of the track into the apex on the right side, getting down into third gear. Do not shift down into second. You want to be able to keep your momentum off of the corner. So down into second, down into third, we're gonna hit the apex here. Now this depends on how much speed you have and how comfortable you feel, but you don't have to go around the entire apex. You can actually cut it and go out to the left side of the track quicker. I took the entire apex here. I would say sector 1 is probably my slowest time, so there's a lot of time to be made up here. So you're going to just want to be heading out to the left side of the track. You're going to be getting up into 4th gear here. Now for this section, you'll see the 2 and the 1 on the side there. Try to brake as close as possible to the 1 versus the 2 as possible. My general thing is I brake about as soon as I can no longer see the 1 out of the left side. So that's when I get on the brakes right there. Now I'm going to be going down into 2nd gear through this. I am going to be riding the inside curbing on the apex there, and then slowly making my way out to the left side of the track, keeping as much momentum as possible. Now this is something you can play around with as well. There is a little bit of time still to be made in this sector. I think 0.11 is the time that I'm down on the overall time, so you can carry a little bit more speed through this. You could be very successful in this specific corner yourself. So down into second, we're going to be riding the apex, and I slid a little bit there, which didn't help my cornering, but you're just going to want to get into the corner here. Then you're going to make your way out to the outside of the track, up into 3rd gear, up into 4th, and then into 5th at the DRS sign. And then we're actually getting up into 6th gear along this long straight here as well. Now where we're going to be braking is we're going to be braking between the 3 indicator and the 2 indicator. Now try to brake as close to the 2 indicator as you do feel comfortable with. You will have to really get on the brakes and shift down very quickly. This is not a 3, 2, 1. This is a 3, 2, 1. So, or a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you got to be shifting very quickly down the closer you brake to the 2. So just be aware of that. It is something that I struggled with at the beginning as well. Just making sure I'm getting down in the gears fast enough to actually facilitate my ability to make the turn in this corner. So we're going to be braking about here. You could even brake at the 2 if you wanted to. I just always am a little bit conservative. So we're going to be down into second gear, down into first gear. We're going to be hitting the apex here and then trying to carry as much momentum out to the right side of the track as possible, up into second gear as soon as possible, into third gear. We're going to be braking about here, right before the bridge. If you've ever driven this map, or you will if you play a lot of it, there's a shadow that forms underneath the bridge facing our side. So you see it on the opposite right now. When it switches the other side, it's a great indicator of where you need to brake, and you kind of just learn it. Also, you can use the pillars on the right hand side to actually indicate exactly when you should be under braking. But this is more of you just getting comfortable, understanding how far back you feel comfortable braking, knowing that there is a uphill blind turn right here. So we're getting down into second. We're going to hit the apex, go out to the right side of the track, get up into third gear through here. Now this section, there is a lot more time to be made up here just because of the angle that I took it at. I take it at a sharper angle trying to hit the apex. If you actually stay out to the left side of the track a little bit longer, you can get a more straight angle at this, allowing you to not have to be out of the gas as long as possible. It's just something I have not been able to consistently do because I always want to try to turn myself into the corner as early as possible, like logic would tell you. But yeah, stay on the left side a little bit longer, give yourself a little bit more of a straight angle for this corner, and you don't have to be off the gas as long as possible. But we're going to coast through here a little bit. We're going to get back on the gas up into fourth gear. Now for this turn, we're going to be braking as close to the 2 as possible here. So on the brakes here. Then we're going to be shifting down into second gear for this turn. Same thing, we're going to be going out to the right-hand side of the track here with as much momentum as possible. Do not try to outbrake this corner. It's really not worth it. You give up a lot of time if you do screw it up, or you slide your tires or anything like that, because there's a little bit of an embankment that can facilitate you doing that, unfortunately. So try to keep it smooth through here. And don't really try and play too much once you have this sort of angle locked down. So you're going to want to get down into second through here, back on the gas as soon as possible into this long winding turn. Now, this section, I just want to point out, it's not something I can really tell you how to do. This is when you just have to figure out what works for you. Generally, what I was doing here is I was just modulating the gas pedal, never touching the brake. It was more modulating the gas pedal and coasting. So I like to get up into third gear at the actual rev line, at the max revs, and just coast my way around the turn and just kind of keep my momentum up as soon as I can kind of see it fading. And at one point you get a little bit wider, so that way you can come back around at the end. And as you'll see, just modulating the gas pedal, I go a little bit far. As soon as I can see this black piece of like curbing, that's when I know I can get back on the gas itself. So use that as a reference point for yourself as well. Once you see that curbing, you can get back on the gas, and then you just want to just floor it down this short straight here. We're going to be getting over onto the curbing for this 2-1 section right here, where for the braking zone. We aren't going to be braking at all. We are going to be driving this curb up to the 1. And then from the 1 itself, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be getting back on the gas here. And we are going to go over to the right side of the track, off the gas, back on the gas as soon as possible through here, through this curving S-bit of track, up into 6th gear. Now for this section, we're going to be braking between the 3 and the 4. I was a little bit conservative here. I didn't carry as much momentum through, which actually impacted the end of my lap. But you can carry a little bit more momentum through here. Try to brake as close to the 3 as possible. I did a little bit further back, probably about halfway between the 3 and the 4. I was on the brakes. If you feel like being the last of the late brakers, you can brake exactly at the 3, carry a little bit more momentum in, and get a little bit more drive off as well. But just make sure that you feel comfortable actually braking and know where the braking spots are specifically, and being able to hit this lap time and then kind of improve from there. Don't try to go out with the expectation of just doing that immediately, because you want to have a nice baseline where you already know exists. So going into this turn here, we're down into second around the curbing, getting out as far as to the left side of the track as possible. Up into fourth gear through here. We're going to coast back on the gas as soon as possible. Now for the last turn here, we're going to be wanting to brake anywhere inside of that asphalt section. I say specifically closer to the 2. Don't brake too soon, don't brake too late, or you're going to be going straight into that tire barrier in front of us or sliding out into the grass as well if you try to turn while under braking while your tires are skidding and sliding. So anywhere in that concrete section, preferably closer to the 2. So then we're going to get down into second gear here. We're not going to be taking the apex exactly. We're going to be out a little bit, and right at the actual turn is when we're going to hit it. If we go a little bit further here, you'll see that concrete wall that exists on the right-hand side. As soon as you can see that, you want to get back in the gas, because that means that you're in an angle where you actually can start going again, as long as you went out to the left-hand side under braking and got the same angle as I do here. And as with evident with a lot of my corners, there is speed still to be made here. Not as much. This section and the fast section that we just came out of, those two sections I have nailed pretty perfectly. So there isn't a ton of time to be made up here, but there's still probably a little bit. The majority of where I lose time is in the first 4 sections of the track. And even then, it's not much. It's just I lose time in all of them. So it ends up, you know, equating to a little bit of a slower lap than the fastest lap I was able to find. So up into third gear, up into fourth gear here. We're going back onto the front stretch past the Caterpillar Bridge, up into fifth, and that is a lap around Road America. That was a 2:06.13, and hopefully that helped you get a little faster around Road America. And if you enjoyed that track guide, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more track guides as well as other videos in the future as well.